Hey everyone, welcome back. So I have a new hack for the volume. So this is right here. Let me know if it works well so I don't have to tie the mic, and always be careful about how I'm moving, otherwise mic will just come off. So let me know if you see any change in the audio. The plan is to keep that here so I don't have to really hook up the mic. Anyways, so welcome back, and today we are going to talk about SOFI and the recent article that I read about the student loan forgiveness from the White House. And what impacts will it have on SOFI? Along with that, I'm going to share the chart analysis and some trend that I'm seeing for the next 4 to 6 weeks, and my game plan on how to take advantage of that trend. So sit back and relax and watch this video till the end. Okay, so let's get started with the first student loan issue, or not the issue per se, but student loan debt that we had, and how White House is planning to do the forgiveness of the debt. Give me 1 second. I just kind of started without. Okay, so we know that student loans are back. Well, back in the news again, and this time it's a good and welcoming news for SoFi investors. See, when things get heated down so much or beaten down so much, then you just want to get rid of it once and for all. Really, I mean, once we see all this market movement, you really want to just get away with it. You just want the maximum pain we can get right now so we can be over and we can just move ahead. Remember just a few months ago when we got the news that student loans will be extended, and then all of a sudden we got SoFi was doing so well and it started losing momentum and hitting the floor. Well, this time the news just came out that student loan may be forgiven up to $10,000, and nothing, like SoFi didn't even react, it actually went up. So let's take a look at the news and also what impact it has on SOFI stock, and also how SOFI stock will perform in the coming days as per my interpretation. So I'm gonna go ahead and you can see, yes, okay. So latest White House plan would forgive $10,000 in student debt per borrower. And it says basically, this was an article by Washington Post. White House came afterwards and denied any claims that they have made any decision on the article or how they are going to proceed. It's going to be interesting to see how White House will react, because basically they gave, or the Washington Post article actually gave pretty good details about how they're going to forgive the loan, the income level, and why, in my opinion, it's a great news for SoFi. Okay, so White House officials are currently planning to cancel $10,000 in student debt per borrower after months of internal deliberations over how to structure loan forgiveness for tens of millions of Americans. Three people with the knowledge of the matter said. President Biden had hoped to make the announcement as soon as this weekend at the University of Delaware commencement, the people said, but the timing has changed after the massacre Tuesday in Texas. Of course, hearts go out, sadness all around when we got the news about the Texas. It was so painful. I have 2 little kids in the school, and when I get news like that, I mean, nothing but really heart goes out. And I'm going to refrain, because I was really upset about that news. I'm going to refrain from saying anything that I will regret later. But no, it's not acceptable. Anyway, so the White House latest plan called for limiting debt forgiveness for Americans who earned less than $150,000 in the previous year and less than $300,000 for married couple filing jointly. Two of the people said it was unclear whether the administration will simultaneously require interest and payment to resume at the end of August, when the current pause is scheduled to lapse. Then White House came and basically said no decisions have been made yet. A White House spokesman said in a statement Tuesday, wiping out $10,000 of debt per borrower could cost roughly about $230 billion. Now, who's paying for it, right? It's not that it canceled and the money would just disappear and the loan just would disappear. Somebody has to pay for it. We, taxpayer, yes. Many other ways that we don't want to, but somebody has to pay for it. Okay, according to the estimate by the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget, a nonpartisan think tank, however, restarting payment for borrowers which have been on hold since March of 2020 would bring additional money into federal coffers. The think tank said in March that pausing payment had cost the federal government $100 billion and would run around $50 billion per year to maintain. The Washington Post had previously reported that the administration was considering making only undergraduate debt eligible for the forgiveness. So this is really good news in many ways. Number one, the income level. Okay, we know that SoFi has said it time and again that the median income or the average income that their borrower has is higher than 150. On top of that, I feel that when the payment resume for part of the student loan borrowers, I'm not saying it's going to increase or resume for everyone, but for the part of the borrowers, it's going to be a really good thing, because in my opinion, SoFi has really sidelined those earnings or those expectations from their balance sheet and also from their earning expectation in the coming years. When they came out and they said that we are going to do 1.5 billion in revenue for 2022, they did not mean, or they did not consider student loan coming back. So if student loan resumes, okay, it doesn't matter if it's 50% or loan holders for SoFi, but when the student loans come back, it's going to be a really good boost for the SoFi stock. It's going to be really wonderful, because now the uncertainty has left that student loan saga. I mean, now we know that, okay, it's going to be forgiven for this many people, this is going to be forgiven up till this point, and after that the payment will resume. So it's a great thing for SoFi as a company, for SoFi's balance sheet, their future earnings, and also for us investors. So I think this news doesn't matter if White House denied or not. Sooner or later, in the next few weeks, it's going to come out and it's going to have an impact, or basically have a date set for, okay, we are forgiving the loan for up to $10,000 per borrower up till this date or up till this income level. And then after that, all of a sudden, the payment will resume for the rest. There was a protest in DC. I saw a photo of it where the students were basically marching, saying that $10,000, no, forgive it all, or up to $50,000. So they are saying $10,000 is not enough. You need to do more. You need to forgive more. Of course, they are going to say that because they are under loan. But it doesn't make sense for the government to do that. Now, election is right around the corner in just a few months. So for President Biden to come out and secure the vote, he may do something that he shouldn't for the long term. But I think that Congress is not going to allow that. To $50,000 is a lot of money. $10,000 is costing $100 billion a year, and $50 billion, or pausing the payment, is causing $100 billion a year. And by forgiving $10,000, it's going to do about $10 billion. So I feel that right here it says roughly 230 billion, wiping out 10,000 debt per borrower could roughly cost 230 billion. That's a lot of money. And right now, government wants money. With the tightening, just like in July when they're going to start tightening, it's going to be really hard for Congress to basically come out with a decision that, you know what, no, let's just forgive $50,000. $10,000 is, I think, extreme in my opinion. And then after that, we are going to have the payment resume for the folks, those who are basically have not been paying since March of 2020. So it's going to be really wonderful for SoFi stock to come out and basically resume all those payments and have that income now considered and also accepted in the earnings and of course in the balance sheet. So I think it's a really good boost for SoFi stock, and I think it's going to be really good for the company and also for the investors. Okay, enough of this. Let me just show you a few things on the chart and also where the price point is and why is it so exciting for us investors for the next few months on SoFi. Take a look at this. So I'm going to go ahead and okay, right here you can see. So this is a daily chart of SoFi, as you can see right here. And what I have done is I have actually drawn a Bollinger Band on it, and you can see the trend. I'm gonna try to make it bigger so it's easy for me to explain. Okay, so as you can see that we tried to kind of get close to the trend on 24th and then 25th, and then we kind of took a flight up. So this was really refreshing to see that how SoFi touched this pink line that you see, the trend line, and it kind of took a flight up. Now we are still far away from the top end of the Bollinger Band, and this is the Bollinger Band, and usually whenever you see that it touched the top end, it came down to the bottom end, and then it touched, and then it came down, and it's remained in that Bollinger Band lower end for a while. Now if you see over here, we still have about, I would say, $8 to go before it kind of touches the top end of the Bollinger Band and before we can see any kind of downward pressure. But I'm going to show you another study which is really critical to see how it's going to perform. The MACD on the daily chart has started to rise again, and RSI is not looking overbought right now. So all these indicators combined, I feel we are going to have a good few weeks for SoFi stock as we move into the next, I would say, in the mid of June or later part of the June. So it's going to be really interesting to see how SoFi stock performs. On top of that, I have something else here to kind of show it to you guys. Where's the chart? Right here. Okay. So this is a study, Ichimoku, if I'm kind of butchering the name, then I apologize. But basically it is a study that looks at the trend for the previous time and then 26-day period ahead. So it's a lead period is about 26 days, and it looks at the trend of how SOFI stock is going to perform. And the cloud that you see over here, sorry, there you go. So the cloud that you see over here, if the price of the stock is under the cloud, that means the trend is on the downtrend right here. And if the price of the stock is above the cloud, that means the price, it's looking very confusing, but let me break it down in simple terms. If the price of the stock is above the cloud, that means the trend is on the bullish side. So this is bearish if it's under the cloud, and this is the cloud, by the way, the blue shaded area is the cloud. And if it's under the cloud, that means the stock is trending on the downward. And if it's crossing over and going up, that means we will trend upwards or bullish. See what's going on here. So if I kind of pay attention, or if you pay attention over here, see now we are entering a trend where it's going to be kind of a flat line in this range for at least next 26 days. Well, it shows over here, this is the top resistance, this is the support. So we can see that the price will be around, I would say between 755 and 643 is what they are looking at the bottom end. And we are going to stay between this range because it's flattening. But the most bullish part that I see is that we are now coming or changing from that bear trend to a little bit on the bullish trend. Now, of course, these technicals or these studies means nothing if something drastic happens in the market. We have seen it time and again where TA doesn't work until it works, because see, all the stock, doesn't matter if it's Tesla, doesn't matter if it's Apple, SoFi, they all trade in the same market. So if we come out and we basically say that, you know what, no, we are turning into a bullish trend and SoFi is going to go up from here and nothing else, and then we have Russia does something crazy, or the CPI number that's coming out in 15th of June, I think, comes out and gives a bad reading, we are then going to go down. But if these things remain constant, means like nothing really happens or nothing really changes in the coming time, then we can see a really bullish trend for SoFi that's been forming right now. And when the price crosses over the cloud, which it has right here, as you can see, then we will maintain the bullish trend for a while, as you can see right here. From October or mid-September till about November, we had that bullish trend and the price was trading above the cloud. And then after that, you can see right here from mid of November all the way, it kind of went under the cloud, and then since then it has been on bear. Now, trust me, this study, I had no idea about this study just 6 months ago. Okay, I recently discovered this study. I was looking at more technical signals and I was reading a book and they mentioned this study on that, and I quickly kind of started to learn about it. But just think about it, right? If we had like seen TA work back then, you know, okay, this is in the bear trend and you can see the price has been so low under the cloud, would have been really wonderful for us investors, right, to know about it. But we could have hedged our positions. But right now, I'll be watching this because I feel that once we get out of this cloud, then we can see the bullish trend and we can see how the price is moving. And again, all the macroeconomic factors and microeconomic factors does affect the stock, doesn't matter what the TA says. So keeping all that in mind, I think that we are going to see some great reading on SoFi stock for the next few weeks and few months at least. And we are going to, if nothing happens, nothing economical or nothing really drastic happens in the market. And I think the range that we are in right now, the 6.5 to 7.5 to 8 range, will be the lowest range for at least a while. And then from there, if we break the trend, we could see the lower teens, I would say, by the end of the year. Now, remember this, that analysts came out and they gave their prediction of $10. How many analysts were out there that they were giving their prediction or that SoFi will be $10 for the next 12 months? That was their prediction. Right now, SoFi is trading at $8. So if we continue this trend for the next 3 to 4 weeks, we can go into the $10 by easily. I mean, if I see all the technicals, the volume is increasing, the more shares are being sold on an asking price, which is of course a bullish sign. And also we are seeing that the MACD is also looking now to turn on a daily chart, trying to go up again, and RSI is not looking at overbought, so we still have some room to grow. So if all of those combined, we see that the SoFi now touches $10, then what's going to happen? All those analysts are going to come back and they're going to see, well, student loan is out now. That means SoFi can resume the payment because it has been paused. And now they're doing so well, more members, Latin America, Singapore, Hong Kong. We are raising the price target to the $15 or $16 or $18. They all will come out and revise the price targets. So it's a very exciting time. And I think the chance that we got back in I would say a month ago when the earnings came out, the $5 chance that we got to buy some stock, and I bought some stock at that time and I alerted my Discord members. And if you like to get those alerts, join our Discord and Patreon, links are in the description below. So when we got that chance, that was a really, really great chance to own SoFi at that price level. I mean, if I just look at those purchases that I made, I think I bought like about 2,000 stock at that time, or shares at that time. If I look at that part only, we are already up good amount by just on those. Of course, the average is still way down. I mean, I bought, my average is like $13, so I'm still way underwater in SoFi, and my options are hurting and getting killed day by day because their intrinsic value is just diminishing. So it's going to be interesting. And if you're a SoFi investor and if you've followed this channel, then make sure that you follow the recent updates that I will come out, because I'm looking at all these monitors, because SoFi is, I have a huge holding or huge lot of shares in SoFi. So it's very important for me to keep an eye on the portfolio. And hopefully the CPI reading that comes out on June gives us a good reading, and the overall market sentiment that happened in the last 2 days, I really hope it maintains. I have my doubts. I'm doing another video on the market because I feel that these bear rallies are nothing but just more food for the bear to feed on. I'll explain in my next video where I'm looking at these market trends and why I feel that I'm not too bullish about the overall market in the short term. In the long term, absolutely. And in that video, I'll give you the timeline. If you plan to retire in the next 2 years, what you should be doing. Not a financial advice, just my opinion. But if you are in the market for, say, the next 5 to 10 years, then this is the time when you need to pay attention to your portfolio and then kind of grab the cream of the market. So get out of the junk, get the cream. So I hope you liked today's video. And if you do, then let me know in the comments below. And also, click on that like button. It's very important for this video to go out if you click on that like button. So I would really appreciate it. And also subscribe to the channel if you're new. Until next time, you all have a sparkling day.